Lord have mercy. The Lord is my shepherd. He know what I want.
There's no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. Because at least as a rich man, when I have to face my problems, I show up in the back of a limo wearing a $2,000 suit and a $40,000 gold fucking watch.
You didn't put in on this, man.
Better get a receipt, my brother.
Disclaimer: we are not licensed attorney or tax experts. The information herein is for educational and informational purposes only. Laying the Path by Don Kilam, the importance of why every household should establish a ministry trust. Now, if you want this ebook, which includes the actual ministry trust, which is 77 pages, it's going to be a $9.97 donation. If you're a member, a MalikKalam.com member, private member, you will receive this at 50% off. And you can get this by sending it via Cash App, the Don Kilam. That's TheDonKilam. And the PayPal is donkilam.com/donate. You can send a text via 407-274-5161. Again, that's 407-274-5161. And the email address is herein. It's support@donkilam.com. That's support@donkilam.com. If you want coaching along with the ebook, there's going to be a $5,000 donation. If you're a private member already, this is half off. And if you want Don Kilam and a few experts, I work with a few experts. One or two of the experts will come to your city and help you one-on-one coaching for a minimum of 3 days. We'll come for 3 days, 2.5, 3 days. That's going to be a $9,997 donation. Please reach out to me for that. We're going to be in Chicago, Massachusetts, Florida, Phoenix, Las Vegas. We're everywhere. Well, we will come to you and show you how to protect your assets. Now, get started now. Be an operational power piece in commerce now with a ministry trust. Handcrafted and sculpted by Don Kilam Trust Company, a registered trademark. A major step to operating in the private and achieving your freedom to serve. Email Don Kilam at support@donkilam.com only if you have any per ordering questions about a ministry trust. Suggested minimum donation is $997 for ebook and ministry trust templates. Ebooks with phone coaching will be a minimum donation of $4,997. And if you need Don Kilam Trust Company to come to your city, donations are starting at $9,997. Everything is set up for you in most cases, but may vary depending on your needs. Remember, a man is worthy of compensation for his labors and cannot feed many on an empty storehouse. Your ministry setup we assist with includes documentation, prep, training packages, downloads, tax ID instructions, bank account establishment info, and private counsel. With our full service preparation package, we receive certain customary donations for our labor. Once your ministry trust is established, you will need to maintain accurate accounting records. This is a minor expense compared to the alternative. Steps to getting started with your private ministry documents and resources ordered. Make the suggested donation via Cash App, the Don Kilam, or donkilam.com/donate. Then after donating, email support@donkilam.com with the exact following information: the name of the ministry you have chosen, example, Wide Web Ministries, the full given name of your chosen executive director, the full given name of your chosen managing director. The executive director and managing director must be two separate people or two separate entities who choose to work together on your project. Name of the state where the ministry is going to be located, and it can operate internationally. We offer an international address in Switzerland with free mail forwarding for an additional donation of $500. A short one-sentence mission slogan. Include your daytime, phone number, and email address. Email these details along with your proof of payment, email, or receipt. This way we can match up your payment with these details above. We'll get back to you within 72 hours with any questions. The document, however, is not intended to supply the reader with the information on how to be a sovereign. It is only an attempt to provide a little information on just how we got into all the trouble that came upon us and a way to stay out of trouble by properly planning your estate and protecting your labor and assets. It's not to be used for tax evasion. You must do your own homework and due diligence, alright? Now, right here is a letter just showing you that this is the proof that a ministry is not required to register as a 501c, alright? Because a lot of people think they have to be 501c's, which restricts your freedom of speech. You cannot talk about politics if you have a 501c. Alright? And there's the information for that in the ebook. Now, one must know under 28 U.S.C. 3002, United States is a federal corporation. We're all acting under trust, alright? It says the K Trust. Social Security Trust Administration, alright? Understand, overstand, the Constitution is an express trust. It's express. This is just break it down, show why, okay? I'm not going to go over that. Well, I need you to go over it. So what is a 508c1a? Section 508 special rules with respect to Section 501c3 organizations. The 508c1a is a faith-based organization, or FBO. Is a religious non-profit tax-exempt organization. The 508c1a faith-based organization is a separate and distinct form and distinct from a 501c3 charity and unincorporated faith-based organization. The 508c1a is applicable in all 50 states and recognized internationally under the Hague Convention of the United Nations Charters. Since its inception in 1954 with the Johnson Amendment, the 501c3 has been promoted and advertised by many as the only option to organizing the FBO. This is fatally incorrect. Federal law, IRS publications, and court cases all conform and establish the rights and protections of the 508c1a faith-based organization. The 508c1a FBO enjoys a mandatory exception from all restrictions a 501c3 FBO has, including free speech restrictions. FBOs can be organized and operated under Section 508c1a of the tax code the same as they can be organized and operated under any other section of the tax code. A 508c1a FBO has a constitutional and legal right to form. Therefore, there is no required application to seek approval of tax exempt status nor any tax form obligations to file. Alright, we're going to skip on down to page 21. Alright. What you can do with your self-supported ministry. Many people have asked, is there a list of things one ministry can do that might help us discern the value of having our own ministry? If you believe that the Internal Revenue Code is applicable, then you might file a declaration of self-supported ministry. We do not depend on any man-made codes to pursue God's purpose. Use caution and seek competent advice in this area. Now, let me go back up to page 20. What I do want you to know, you can become an ordained minister online, begin your ministry right from home by clicking this link. You go to Universal Life Church, become a minister for free, get ordained right online, and this is upheld by the Supreme Court decisions, alright? That's how I learned about this website. Become a minister, Bible's a fact in the courtroom as well. Now, here's what to consider. This is not legal or tax advice, alright? Do your own homework. The ministry trust is not incorporated and as a private lawful entity. It is the exception, rather than being exempt from regulation regarding all entities controlled by the government, which includes all 501c3 corporations. Therefore, you can now lawfully operate in complete privacy. All donations are tax deductible. A simple receipt is all that is required. Donations other than cash are tax deductible to the donor and are removed from the donor's estate. Any item of value such as real property, securities, vehicles, and other such items may be donated. Your ministry trust may receive donations from wills, trusts, life insurance, and any other deferred gift. Assets of the ministry will not be at risk unless the ministry itself is being sued. One may achieve some asset protection by donating the item to the ministry. If asset protection and tax avoidance is your goal, there are better vehicles to accomplish this purpose. A ministry may reduce your personal tax liability. There are any number of ways to accomplish this. Please consult a professional. A ministry may reduce your business tax liability. Again, there are many variations on this theme, so consult with a professional. A ministry may open a bank account in any country. There are any number of benefits that can be realized from an offshore bank account. The only drawback is that in some jurisdictions you must open the account in person. A U.S. taxpayer generally cannot deduct gifts to overseas charitable projects unless they do so through another charitable entity such as a ministry trust. A ministry trust is allowed to hire and pay individuals as a needed basis. A contract for labor can be used if desired, but is not a requirement. The outsourcing of labor presents certain tax issues that will need to be considered. If you have any questions, please seek competent tax advice. As the minister or the other agent for the ministry trust, certain expenses such as transportation costs, clothing, food, and shelter can be borne by the ministry trust, thereby reducing your need to pay those expenses. Ministry trust bank accounts generally do not require a social security number associated with it. In point of fact, neither SSN or EIN is legally required to open a bank account. That does not mean that your bank will not demand such information or to open an account. I recommend Chase or Bank of America because they will open a checking account without such disclosures utilizing the WA-BIN process in 8 U.S.C. 1408. There is no trustee or office of the president involved in the ministry trust. Yes, this allows you to maintain control. There is no legal limit to the lifespan of this trust. The ministry trust is not political in any sense of the word. The ministry trust does practice and support free speech. The ministry trust is a self-supported ministry and relies on outside donations to maintain its existence. Fundraising and the donations themselves can take many forms. The ministry trust is not regulated by the government. As an example, and the Amish operate without license. They can build what they want on their property without code enforcement from the government. They're beyond the scope of the government. The ministry trust should be operated in the same manner. The only reason to use a registered and approved 501c3 type of corporation is if you are competing for government grants. If that is the case, one could form a separate ministry trust for that distinct purpose. Alright, when we skip down to page 26, what you can do with your ministry trust. Many people have asked, is there a list of things the ministry trust can do that might help us sustain the value of having our own ministry trust? Here's a reply originally prepared by Dr. R.J. Humple, J.D., who was the one who developed the first non-written declaration of self-supported ministry of an unincorporated organized church ministry as the otherwise described in Title 26 U.S.C., the IRS Code, some sections revised. Operate in complete privacy. Since the ministry trust is not incorporated, it is a private entity. That is the exception rather than being exempt from many regulations regularly associated with government registered entities such as the 501c3 corporations. Therefore, you may now lawfully operate in greater privacy. However, do not interpret this as a way to hide assets from anyone or from the government agencies. Individuals may receive an income tax deduction. All donations made to your ministry trust from yourself, friends, relatives, clients, patients, and fundraising events are generally fully deductible from the donor's taxes as provided by law. Advise them to seek legal or accounting counsel, but you may defer to Section 508 IRC to provide them your status. Receive donation or gifts of all kinds of assets. Your ministry trust may accept donations of all kinds of assets. This may include real property, yes, virtually free real estate, stocks or LLC interests, vehicles, boats, planes, clothing, furniture, and money. Gifts, donations to your ministry trust are normally removed from estate, gift, and capital gains tax exposure for the giving party. Receive funds from deferred gifts. Your ministry trust may receive donations from wills, trusts, life insurance, or any other deferred gift. Less exposure from liability of lawsuits. By placing all or most of your assets into a self-supporting ministry, attorneys may have a harder time trying to collect any judgment against you personally if they are attacking you personally. If they can collect anything at all. As a plan B, this can be further enhanced by placing UCC1 liens against assets you personally still hold in the asset, but the asset is pledged for the use of the ministry, if not actually deeded to the ministry, such as cars, RVs, businesses, interests, real estate, etc. The ministry being the creditor and you being the debtor in those instances. This may reduce your own personal tax liability by receiving income into the self-supporting ministry. Your own personal tax liability may be reduced. Many have done this by having your employer make the payroll checks out in the name of the ministry trust or wire the funds directly to the ministry's bank account. Confer with county counsel, of course. Reduce your business tax liabilities by making the ministry trust the lawful owner of most of the stocks or ownership in existing business via stock or donation. The revenue will flow through the self-supporting ministry and the resulting income from business tax liability may be decreased. Open bank accounts all over the world. There is no need to have a risky or controversial offshore trust or corporation since a ministry trust is allowed to exist all over the globe. However, one may have to physically open an account in another country and give the bank a local address for your self-supporting ministry. Please use full disclosure to any governing authorities. Gifting to other countries. U.S. taxpayers generally cannot deduct gifts to oversee charitable projects unless they do so through another U.S.-based charity, such as the self-supporting ministry. Personal compensation for the work you do. A ministry trust is allowed to provide for the payment of anyone that works for it. This can be done by using the worker's contract that is provided in all the self-supporting ministries provided. Since the Federal Reserve notes are used as payment exchange, the transaction should not be a taxable event according to the United States Code. Opinions suggest Federal Reserve notes are obligations of the United States. Obligations are not taxable unless you or your entity is a corporation or a public organization. Allow your ministry trust to make the payment for most instances. All expenses that are required for the operation and growth of the ministry trust are allowed. Yes, you may have the ministry trust pay for your transportation, clothing, food, and shelter. Remember, you are working for God now. Bank accounts are more private. The checking account set up for the ministry trust does not commonly have a social security number associated with it in the primary ID. However, the bank may want to check your own social security for personal identification. Every bank should open up an account with having any DBA associated with it. Remember, the ministry trust is not a traditional business in the commercial world. You are in control. Since there is no trustee or office of the president involved in the self-supporting ministry, you can be directly involved with all the legal transactions regarding the self-supporting ministry. No ending date for the self-supporting ministry. The ministry trust does not have a date where it comes to an end. There is no ending date for any reporting because there's nothing to report. Ministries generally are not taxable. The private self-supporting ministry churches are not required to file a tax return. See our IRC section 508 for details and guidelines. Do your own study, but do not abuse this and follow guidelines. Non-political. The ministry trust is not political in any manner, even though it may be created by contract somewhere in the United States of America. However, the ministry trust may write or verbally report to others regarding the truth or opinion of any matter going on worldwide. It may be funded and supported by other businesses. Since the ministry trust is just that, self-supporting ministries, to survive, it may be supported, financed by activities that generate revenue, such as an LLC or corporation. This can be done by having some or all of your supporting business profits or revenue route directly into the account of the self-supporting ministry. In fact, the ministry trust itself can and should have activities that support itself. Remember, the ministry trust is self-supported, not regulated by the government as a state-registered corporation, such as an entity controlled by the Secretary of State of any state. If one doesn't grant jurisdiction, all or in part, as a public entity, jurisdiction basically doesn't apply. Remember, the Amish, they can build what they want on their property without code enforcement from the government. They do not need license to operate. They are left alone by the government. The ministry trust should be operated just like they operate their work. If they can do it, then the ministry trust can do it. Your self-esteem, your light should shine among men so that they might see what you do. If anyone who calls himself a child of God can use the self-supporting ministry provisions, it's required to fulfill most missions. Now you're actually working for God. So we're skipping down. Skipping down to the trust. We're ready to get to the meat and bones, man. I'm showing y'all a sneak preview, man. It's gonna go fast. I'm gonna go through it. This is the sauce. This is just what it is, man. So if you want this ebook, it comes with the trust template, man. The trust is 77 pages. If you're a member, it's 50% off. If you're a member of Malik Kilam or Don Kilam, it's 50% off. For everybody else, it's $9.97 on the Cash App. You need coaching, or if you need us to come to you, all right? Put legacy in the memo box with your email address. Don Kilam Ministry Trust. This is copywritten. Copywritten trust. 77 pages. All right? First page, breaks down Don Kilam Trust. It breaks down marital status, living children, residency. We have our stuff set up in Switzerland. That's how we do it. You see it's trademarked right here, Don Kilam Trust Company. It's trademarked. We have Schedule A's, B's, and C's in this one. All right, and then we're breaking down the IRS codes in our taxes. Okay, and the FBO. We're breaking it down. We're breaking down the codes and what it does, and then the grant requirements with the purpose. All right. All right. I'm gonna show you what's special, man. We're breaking down this. It's all about the codes that you're implementing, and how you're implementing them, and how you're directing the affairs. All right, and how you're directing the affairs, how you're distributing the funding. All right, how you're breaking down the funding. All right, and the codes and the powers. All right, the law that you're breaking down. You have to get law. You have to get the law from somewhere. So you have to know the law. You have to know the law. We're breaking down our definitions of trust property. You see it. We're breaking down our definitions of faith-based religions. We're breaking down under the 508. We're breaking it down why it applies to us. Why the 501(c) doesn't apply to us, and why the 508 does apply to us. All right. And then the grant requirements, and then gifts. How does this trust receive gifts? All right. How can it receive gifts, and how can it distribute the gifts, and who can do it? Who's the power? All right, who's doing the record keeping? All right, you got to have at least 3 parties when dealing with this, and it can be entities. All right, but you got to know your codes, and we're doing this under tribal development. All right, and tribal awareness. All right, you got to have a purpose. What's your purpose? So we're breaking down game right here just for the mission and the purpose, on how to do it under certain codes and statutes and laws. Under this can go to anybody who's tribal or an American national under 8 USC 1408. All right. I'm not sure where it's at, but it's embedded in this code. We have that code embedded in the trust as well. 8 USC 1408. National, but not a citizen. This trust is not set up for citizens. It's only set up for nationals and tribes and tribal people. Recognized tribes. You see we got 508 C1A, all through the trust. It's all about the language and how you're wording it so you're protected correctly. I'm giving y'all a sneak peek, a sneak preview of 77 pages of a trust. And it's breaking down and it's creating more trust within a trust and what to do with them. All right? And how to direct affairs. We got survivor's trust, credit shelter trust, trust administrators, what you're doing, the powers that be, they're directing all the affairs. That's what this is doing. The separate shared trust provisions. All right, the charitable remainder trust. All right, you're always dealing with charities. Everything's a gift now. Everything's a gift, even if it's from an LLC. It's a gift, and we're breaking it down under the IRS codes. This is why it's important you do your homework. We have so many IRS codes. And this is what's protecting us because we did our homework. It's all gifts. It's all charities. It's all giving and receiving. That's all it is. And when you start learning how to delegate like this within the trust, and then this is what's going to protect your assets, on top of having your holding company set up in one of the 5 of the charging order protection states: Nevada, Delaware, Alaska, South Dakota, Wyoming. Trust protector provisions. This is just breaking down the law. I'm just showing y'all a sneak peek. I want y'all to know this is all the execution of the trust. This is all, like, I can't make this up. There's a Schedule A, there's a Schedule B, there's a Schedule C, there's a Schedule D right there. You see it? Schedule E, Schedule F. This is an official business ministry trust. Administrative contract information. All right, I'm giving y'all game. I don't want to show y'all everything. Can't show y'all everything, but I'm just letting y'all know what's so special about this trust. All right, this is the ministry trust. This has you covered. This is what all the elite use. They use something similar to this, but this one was handcrafted and now it is copywritten by Don Kilam Trust Company. All right, I've already been offered a lot of money for this, man. I've already set 2 up for almost $15,000 a piece. All right, and we're bringing it to you right now for the low. I'll come to your city for 2.5 days, chop it up for you, $10,000. Get your assets protected, get your ministry set up, start your legacy. That's what it's all about. It starts right here. You're rocking with your boy Don Kilam, also known as Malik Kilam. You can reach me with myself directly at 407-274-5161. Send a text or send an email at support@donkilam.com. That's SUPPORT@DONKILAM.com. The Don Kilam Ministry Trust. Laying the Path ebook. It breaks down the history. It breaks down the facts. It breaks down the facts of the importance of a 508. C1A Ministry Trust. The importance of it. The importance of the ministry trust. The importance of why every household should establish a ministry trust. All right. I'm going to show you how to protect your legacy. I'm going to show you how, pretty much, how to live tax free. You know, everything's a gift. Learn that your house is the church. You are the church. The church is within the body, man. Start learning who you are. Start learning that prosperity is your birthright. If you find this information valuable, you already know what to do. Leave a donation at the Cash App, the Don Kilam. The Cash App is right on your screen right here. THEDONKILAM. I look forward to serving y'all these ebooks and these trusts, man. All members get it half off. All right, $500. Just send $497 if you're a member on the Cash App to get this ebook and this trust. If you want the coaching, we'll show you how to do it. We'll fill in the blanks. If you get the coaching, we'll fill in the blanks for you. I got you. We'll fill in the blanks for you. If you want us to come to your city, man, it'll be me and another trust expert that I have. I have 2 trust experts that I'm working with, that we're utilizing this, and we're utilizing it worldwide, not just right here in the United States. We're utilizing it worldwide. I bring one of my buddies with you and we'll come to you, man. We'll rock with you for 2.5 days and make sure you get this, man. Much peace and love. And remember, prosperity is your birthright. Peace.